Go ahead, you call open up.
You ready? We give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Ha, Rakah, Kodash. Our honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, spreading the good news of the gospel, teaching this truth throughout the earth, and who rule well. And shalom to the elect, pushing the word to the four corners of the earth in all sincerity, risking their life to do so.
Shalom to the elect of Israel, wa abab abal. All right, so we're in the last days of the kingdom of Edom, which is the so-called white race. All right, their forefather was Esau, which Esau, Aishawa, means wasted away, which was speaking of what he looked like, but also the future of this man, which he's going to be wasted away. His kingdom's going to be wasted away, and that's why the Lord had him develop the nuclear missile, because that's what's going to waste this man's kingdom. Okay? And right now he's coming down with great wrath, knowing that he had but a short time, as it says in Revelation 12, verse 12. Let me grab that real quick. Revelation 12, verse 12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them," talking about the Israelites that believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushai. "Woe to the inhabitants of the earth, for woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil, the so-called white race, Esau, Edom, the wicked, is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he has but a short time." And what did Trump just do? He sent these Marines into LA. All right, and they're not just regular Marines, they're called Mad Dog Marines. They're supposed to be trained killers, murderers. Mad Dog Marines. What is a Mad Dog Marine? So it says it's named after Mad Dog, is a nickname for the four-star General James N. Mattis, all right, who served in the Marine Corps for over 40 years. The nickname Mad Dog is also used in other contexts. It says, in energy and enthusiasm. General Mattis' nickname Mad Dog is linked to his high energy and enthusiasm, as well as his unique and memorable way of speaking. All right. Now, Trump sends Marines to LA. All right, so it's in the news. You can pull it up for yourself. I'll just get one of these articles and just read it. Just the headline. It says, U.S. News from AP. It says, Marines that deployed to Los Angeles have not yet responded to immigration protests. All right. Well, it prophesies of this, okay? That you would have war in the streets of America and war in the world in Matthew 24. All right. Now, let them come up, KJV. This is Joel 3. Joel 3. So Joel 3, verse, I'll start at 5. It says, because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things, the sons also of Judah and the sons of Jerusalem, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, which are the 12 tribes of Israel, which have been scattered throughout the world in slavery. And that's who they're really fighting over. That's what you got to understand. Why is war in the land of Israel, and why is there tension in America out of everywhere? It's because these people here, the Israelites, all right, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Whoever has us rules the world, because we're supposed to be the rulers of this world. You see? And that's why they fight over our land and fight over us. Okay? That's why China said, what? We'll go to America and fight for those protesters of LA, which we know this is controlled opposition. Really, all these nations are confederate against the Israelites, as it says in Psalm 83. Check out the UN. Who is members of the UN? These nations are united against the Israelites, the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American Indian under the so-called white race, Edom. All right? It says, have ye sold unto the Grecians? The Grecians are the Edomites, and he's talking to the Hamites. All right? That ye might remove them far from their border, which we're over here in America now. Under who? The modern day Grecian, the modern day Roman, the so-called American, which are confederate with the beast system of the European Union. America is the whore that rides that beast, all right? And they use Jake to promote their lies, right? It says, behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, which we're all the way over here in the West, being sold as slaves even still today. I saw a meme that said, you want to know about inflation? You used to be able to buy a slave for 30 pieces of silver. Now you got slaves that are worth millions, even billions, right? And they're traded for millions and billions. All right? It says, that shows the inflation, right? When you were able to buy a slave for cheap.
Yeah.
And now the slave is billions or even millions or even billions. It says, and will return your recompense, meaning to pay you back for what you've done unto us, upon your own head. And that's what's happening right now. All right? It's called, you have to pay for what you've done to the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. There's a debt on your head that you haven't paid. It says, and I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hands of the sons of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabaeans, which is talking about the Hamites, to a people far off, for Yahweh has spoken it. Which there's layers of slavery, right? So the lowest slave in our kingdom will be Edom. Edom will be the lowest, the mat of all the slaves. He'll be a slave to a slave. You see? It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, the heathen, and also our own people which been scattered. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. So these are soldiers. Call your soldiers, right? Tell them to come in and start to bring in that implantable microchip and make it mandatory. Let's go. It says, let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. See? Let them come up. Why? Because the Lord's going to destroy them. All right? You can't go against his prophecies. Just like we couldn't go against you in your manifest destiny when you slaughtered, raped, murdered our people and stole the land and stole everything that we had, including our culture. No one could stand up against you because it was your God-given right. Well, it's our God-given right now to stand up and condemn this place. In upright behavior and speech, which is godly through Holy Scriptures, we're not speaking on our own authority. All right? We're telling you what the Almighty Yahweh is saying to this world, it is the end of the kingdom of Edom, which means red, which is the name of the so-called white race. All right? They changed their name because they're fugitives. They're running for what they've done to our people. All right? They're running from it. They're trying to hide it. And that shows what they're doing with these soldiers. These people are protesting, and what do? They send in soldiers with the order from the president to murder them. See? So you're just like Cain, your forefather, which murdered his brother, and it said, am I my brother's keeper? See, you want to silence us because of the truth. But you can't. In fact, your soldiers are going to become like women. That's what's prophesied. U.S. soldiers are going to become like women. And there's going to be sedition. And they're going to run up into your governors and your senators and their mansions. It's prophesied. All right? This is what is in these scriptures, the Holy Bible. Go ahead, Jacob. Get that, what was it, Jeremiah 50 and 33. Yeah.
Jeremiah 50, start at 33, you said?
Because what? Something's going to happen in the international news that's going to draw it closer to that World War III, where they're all going to be gathered into Armageddon, the Valley of the Troops. All right? The Valley of Jehoshaphat, Yahweh is going to destroy them there. All right? Because every time they make a move against his elect here in Babylon, something happens where there is straits. It tells you that in Job 20. All right? Because what they're trying to do is bring us into a new slavery using that implantable microchip. All right? The mark of the beast. Do not receive it. Do not accept it. It's best to die without it. Go ahead.
On Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 33. Thus saith the Lord power, Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that looked them captives, all that, excuse me, all that took them captives who held them fast, they refused to let them go.
Which is happening right now. Esau don't want to let us go. In fact, he's pretty much sending his soldiers to say, you better shut the fuck up and quit crying about it. See? Because what are they protesting? The oppression of the so-called white man oppressing us. See? So the Edomite, he brings out the sword, his teeth, the military, to what? To chew on these people and their so-called liberties. Right? Which shows you that you don't have no fucking rights in this place. You can't even cry about oppression. All right? You speak out against oppression and they'll hang you from a tree. See? The Almighty God hates the so-called white race. And that's why all these things are happening. Because the so-called white race, Edom, has a debt to pay. All right? Go ahead.
It says, that was now going on 34, verse 34. Their Redeemer is strong. The Lord Yahweh of hosts is his name.
Right?
He shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon.
The inhabitants of Babylon. This is where we're at, Babylon. All right? Go ahead. In fact, go back and read that again.
Says 34, Jeremiah 50, verse 34. The Redeemer is strong. The Lord Yahweh of hosts is his name.
Which their Redeemer, talking about the Israelites, he's going to redeem us. He already did through his sacrifice. But even now, in this time of Jacob's trouble, he's going to be sure that we don't fall into that trap, the implantable microchip. He says, because you kept the word of my patience, I will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which that's in Revelation 3:10. All right, so he's going to deliver us out of this. We don't have to pick up arms and go against nobody. All right, the Lord is going to deliver us from all our troubles. All right, go ahead.
He shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon.
Right, so disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon. What is he doing right now? The Lord is doing it. He's stirring up a civil war, a race war. At the same time, he's going to stir up a world war, which is already happening, but America is going to lose the World War III and be destroyed in nuclear destruction. Go ahead.
A sword is upon Chaldeans, said the Lord Yahweh, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon, and upon her princes, and upon her wise men.
Which it's talking about the nuclear missiles. These other nations want to shoot nuclear missiles on America. All right, you even heard China once again saying that they will help LA. China says it will fight for LA citizens. It says, South China Morning Post. China urges nationals in Los Angeles to be highly vigilant amid violent ICE protests, right? Now it says right here, it says in AP World News, China says it will fight to the end after Trump. Oh, that's not that one. That's with the tariffs. I want to get the one where it says, oh yeah, right here. It says, in Times of India news, China tells citizens in LA to boost personal security over unrest. You see, there was they're saying that they'll come in and fight. China will liberate California LA citizens from protests. Oh, it says last. Let me go back. China in support of California LA citizens' protests. If I get a chance, I'll do it on a sit down. I got it on that phone. I saved it on that phone. But pretty much China is saying that they'll liberate California, Los Angeles citizens. China will liberate. China reports it will liberate California, LA citizens. Because sometimes you gotta say it a certain way for it to bring it up. But it says Chinese state media has reported on the unrest in Los Angeles, framing it as evidence of potential issues in the United States. All right. And now, Lord willing, I'll get that sit down out there where they're bringing it out that China is saying that they're thinking about stepping in, just like America would do with these other countries to weaken them, right? They'll see like Vietnam. Vietnam was a civil war, and America involved itself by sinking one of their own military ships and blaming the Vietnamese, which are the same as the Laos people. All right, and that's how they got into the Vietnam War. So in the same way, they're doing it right now. See, this is what they call a coup. All right, and America is coup or us, which they pretty much cause unrest to bring a country into some kind of slavery. All right. Look what they did to Cuba. Look what they did to Saddam Hussein. Look what they did to, what's the other one? They killed Libya. Libya. I can't remember his name. Gaddafi. All right. When they used the sword to control the world. And that's why you see immediately they call out the military and they're saying the Marines. The Marines are a high level asset for the U.S. government. It ain't just some low level thing. See? And then you got all these, destructions going on, natural destructions like tornadoes and hurricanes and floods. But why ain't the military there helping them? See? Because the oath that a Marine takes is that he's supposed to protect the citizens according to the Constitution. Mm-hmm. See? So this shows you that America is one big fucking lie. Even the lie that they're going to be able to go on because they're at their end. Mm-hmm. They're showing their teeth. They're showing their horn, right? So now the Lord is going to increase our power. That once one prophecy is triggered, the next glory is triggered. Glory to glory, we move in this faith. See, once Esau comes in like a flood, the Lord's going to raise the standard against him. See, and he made our heads harder than his head. See, and these words are getting in his head and messing him up. All right, it tells you that they're having nightmares. Just like we're having visions of our deliverance, they're having nightmares of going into slavery, of losing a race war. They're having nightmares, and that's why they're getting the sword. How did they conquer the world? With the weapon. They have that weapon because we're stronger than them. All right, but now the Lord is going to remove that authority from them because they are wicked and they have corrupted the whole world. All right, and the Lord is going to put them in slavery under us, and eventually, after 1,000 years of slavery, they're going to be made extinct because there's no purpose for them. All they do is destroy everything. Go ahead, Japan.
And a sword is upon the liars.
Right. Liars, how did they get this land? They lie about it. They came in with the sword, they stole it, they murdered for it, they raped the women, the men, the land, right? And they lie about it. They say that this is such a great country and it done so many great things for the world, but really it covered the world in blood. See, it murdered, it drops bombs on people every day. Every day, men, women, and children. They bomb people every day. Go ahead.
And they shall go, a sword is upon her mighty men, and they shall be dismayed.
See? And the nuclear missiles of these other countries are here for America. America is going to be devoured by nuclear fire, according to the prophecies. America is going to be destroyed by great violence because of all the violence that you push throughout the world. Go ahead.
A sword is upon their horses and upon their chariots and upon all the mingled people that are in the midst of her.
Mingled meaning America. America is a melting pot. It's like no other place in the world. All right? So all these missiles are aimed at America. Go ahead.
And they shall become as women. A sword is upon her treasures, and they shall be robbed.
Right. Go ahead.
A drought is upon her waters, and they shall be dried up, for it is the land of graven images, and they are mad upon their idols.
Which is America, even that implantable microchip, that's considered an engraven image. All right? That they're going to make you, they're going to say that you have to bow down and take it if you want to be accepted in their beast system. See, when they came in with Christopher Cristobal Colon, which you know as Christopher Columbus, he brought in that false Christianity with this false image. And if you wouldn't worship them, they'd put you to death. Right? Well, now it's the implantable microchip. See? They're going to bring that implantable microchip. Right now, you got employee lines, like people looking for a job, just like the Depression. The lines going all the way out to the parking lot. The unemployment lines, they're all going to become chipping lines. Implantable microchips. You want healthcare? You're going to have to take this chip. You want to have a home, which is not even going to be a home, because they're going to say you can't own nothing. They're going to break up the families. You see them already doing this. And really, they don't even want us. All right? We're the nation not desired. That's why Trump just recently said, these people are in your grocery stores, taking your jobs, in your schools. Who's he talking about? Us, the Israelite. See? Like we're a pest. You're the fucking pest. You so-called white people, you Caucasians, you're the fucking pest. You're the virus that feeds on other organisms. You're like a virus, man. And that's why you're going to be made extinct, because there ain't nothing good with you. You're just a destroyer. You're a weapon of mass destruction. All right, go ahead.
Therefore, the wild beasts of the desert with the wild beasts of the island shall dwell there.
Shall dwell there. Where? America, after it's destroyed with nuclear missiles. This is where the desert creatures are going to dwell, but no man shall live here. Go ahead.
And the house shall dwell therein, and it shall be no more inhabited forever.
Forever. All right? Now go to Obadiah. All right? The Lord prophesied the downfall of this place. You think you're going to rouse up your men and they're going to be almighty now? No, this is your downfall. When they were mighty, it was back when you were coming up. Now you're going down. So even your soldiers, your Mad Dog Marines, they're going to become like women. See?
You know, a good, if I can say, a good illustration is look at these people in this that are following after President Trump's way of life. You know, look at Trump. He's one fat. You know,
he's
looking
getting weaker and weaker.
Yeah.
Because what? They weaken the nations. They weaken themselves. They poison the air. They poison themselves.
Even
they're foolish men.
Even Biden was that way, you know.
And what it is they're being terrorized. All right. Even remember Pontius Pilate, when he was governor and he was judging Yahushua. All right, because the unbelieving Israelites brought him before the governor, of which he represented Caesar. His wife was being tormented with dreams.
Oh, yeah.
This ain't nothing new. It happened for our forefather Jacob when he was dealing with Laban and Edom in the past. So right now, these Edomites are being tormented. They're having visions just like we're having visions, but they're seeing the other side. They're seeing nuclear destruction like Sarah Connor and Terminator. Go ahead.
Obadiah chapter 1, verse 1, the vision of Obadiah. Thus said the Lord Yahweh concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathens. Arise ye, let us rise up against her in battle.
Which that Egyptian president that said they left black and came back white, they'll never have peace here.
Oh, yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised.
Thou art greatly despised. Who? The Edomites. Why? Because what did we just say about their history? They go through the world destroying,
Right.
raping and robbing the world of its resources and enslaving the people, promising them the world. But at the end, they're left with crumbs. And you don't even want them to have that. See? So the whole world is against this so-called white race, starting with America. All right? Because the pride of you have made you drunk. Go ahead, Jacob.
Okay, here we go. Obadiah chapter 1, verse 3. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, that thou that dwellest in the cleft of the rocks,
The so-called Caucasian, right?
whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?
That's the pride of this devil. What did Trump say? You can't rise up against us. Send the Marines, right? But see, you don't realize the Lord's against you. It's not like the past in your time when you were able to overcome Gad with the troops. It says Gad is going to overcome at the last. See, so whose fight is this? This is our fight. We're going to win. You're as it said, kicking against the pricks. You're going to destroy yourself coming up against us, the Israelites that believe in Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Go ahead.
Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord Yahweh.
See, you got us in slavery, the Israelites. You got this ability to fly up into the air with these ships. So you think you're like God. See, but you're gonna be dismayed that you're gonna be all destroyed. All you Edomites, from the first one, Edom, all the way down to the last one, they're all gonna be made extinct. Go ahead.
If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off?
Right, they leave you alone, right? They come, rob you, and then run away and leave you alone. You probably don't ever see them again. But Esau, he moves in. You don't just rob your house. He moves into the house.
Yeah.
Puts you in the basement and rapes and murders you. And then lies and says, hey, I'm them. They got a movie called Extinction. Watch it. They show you that. Once you become too powerful, they'll come in and they'll take over you. And they'll take your place by putting one of their own there. Like in Saudi Arabia. If you know the history of Dark Ages, Edom conquered Ishmael. All right? And Ishmael was in the time of ruling. That's why you had Jake. They called themselves the Moors, which they were into Islam. But you see today that stuff still carrying out. That false religion, and that's all by Esau's design. Because Esau is the sword, and it was prophesied that he would conquer the world with the sword, and eventually he would be destroyed with the great sword. Go ahead.
But why do you see all these reports that America is in all these different countries, like 750 bases, I'm going to say.
Military bases, right?
Yeah.
Right? Right, because just like the Romans, what did the Romans do? If you actually look up a map from the pagan Roman Empire to the U.S. military, it's the same thing. All right? It's a repeat because those are the same Edomites that were back in the past. They've been reincarnated into this generation as the sword. All right? And they're going to pay for what their father did, but it's really them. They came back. Just like the 2/3. Remember, when they gave Yahushua over to Pontius Pilate, they said, let his blood be upon their head and their children's head. So all these Jake that are getting ready to be put to death, those are the sons and daughters of those reprobates that betrayed Yahushua. See? So they're back today, and they're going to die. All right? But also the elect, the ones that believe in Yahushua, starting with the prophets, the apostles and the prophets. Go ahead.
Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes?
Right, but Esau wants it all. He wants the whole world for himself, and he wants to murder us. Why do you think they got robots to take our jobs? Because he don't give a fuck about your tax dollars. That's another fucking lie. He tells you that your tax dollars go to these things and that thing. He don't need your fucking tax dollars. Those dollars are his. That's why his face is on it. And he cutting out the work. Why? Because he's bringing famine. That's his MO. When he goes against a people, he causes a siege. He cuts off resources. All right? Because he's the devil the Bible speaks of. And he's being sent by Yahweh Shai, and the Lord's going to use him against these reprobates of the nation of Israel. You don't want to accept the truth? You're going to go to the chopping block. That's all there is. And eventually you're going to have to face that you got to bow to the Israelites. Even these unbelieving, the synagogue of Satan, these Israelites that don't believe, it says they're going to worship the Israelites that did believe. Why? Because the Lord set up order and structure. All right? And the elect are on top with Yahweh Shai, and it starts with King David. All right? And then the rest of the Israelites, and then the heathen. And Edom is the bottom. And you know how shit goes downhill? Edom is going to be eating shit and drinking piss. All right? That's how bad it's going to be for him. And he's going to have to pay for everything he did to us. And see, we won't do all that gay, that Sodom activity. What they did, they call buck breaking, where they rape a man in front of his wife and his children and other people just to break him, like they do in these prisons. All right? But you know that you will be impaled. You will be impaled. All right? That's a judgment where you stick a long ass rod right up the ass, right out the mouth, and then you set them up, and you can either burn them or whatever. But these judgments are going to be carried out as a payback unto these heathen for what they've done unto us. Even the nuclear destruction of America, the Lord's going to do that to pay them back for what they've done unto us. See? Who could charge the elect with anything when it's the Lord that justifies? See? So Esau's just condemning himself. Every move he makes, he's just getting deeper in that quicksand. He's in a river with a great millstone, an ocean with a great millstone on his neck. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Another illustration I think of was when they got the Jakes back when they were bringing in from Africa. They would get them the biggest, strongest Jake, and then they would put them on horses and tie them to the horses, and they would pull the Jake apart.
Right. To do what? Install fear.
Right.
What did they say that they're doing right now with the Marines in LA? Trying to install fear.
Right.
But that's going to fall on your head. Your soldiers are going to become like women. And we're going to become more bold in our faith. Go ahead.
How are the things of Esau searched out?
Right. So he's searching things out to try to persecute you. Go ahead.
How are his hidden things sought up?
Why is he doing that? Because we're telling the truth. So he's in danger of being revealed. The shame that he's covered in, he can't stand. So he's trying to put us to death. That's why he's saying a death penalty to you that is against his forces. See? Because he's pretty much saying, I'm greater than you. Go ahead.
All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee.
Have deceived thee. Right? So these allies, these so-called allies, they're going to turn on you and shoot nuclear missiles on you. And before that, they're going to raise up troops inside this land, and they're going to go into your homes and destroy your homes like you've done to these other nations. This is called a payback for what you've done to the world. And it's prophesied in the Holy Scriptures. Now, these so-called white Americans claim to be Christians, but they don't know that the Scriptures condemn America. See? That's why you know that Christianity, Islam, all that crap is false religion. The only book that is full of prophecies is the Holy Bible. And it's only for the Israelites. It's not for any other nation. Go ahead.
And prevail against thee, they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him.
And I hear it. I watch these news, and they're saying, why is this happening? We're such a great nation. Why don't nobody love America no more? Why? Because it's your time of judgment. And your judgment is going to be without mercy. Because you showed no mercy to no other people, including the Israelites. Go ahead.
shall I not in that day, saith the Lord Yahweh, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Edom, and thy mighty men, O Canaan, shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter.
And it makes me think of that movie, Trading Places, when they outsmart the elite.
Yeah.
See, the wisdom left them. They would have caught it back in the day, but they're losing their wisdom. See, so every move they make, because they're drunk on pride, is getting them in deep shit. Go ahead.
And they lost it for $1.
For $1, yeah.
For thy
why? Because on the dollar is the Illuminati plan. That's the only bill that has never been changed out of all the bills. And if you look on the back, on the pyramid, it says Great Seal, the back of the United States dollar bill.
According to Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia, the reverse of the $1 bill has an ornate design that incorporates both sides of the Great Seal of the United States to the left and right of the corner.
I don't know if you can see it because it's bright, but look at the back of the dollar, and under the pyramid it says the Great Seal, and it says one with America's Great Seal, right, of the United States, which it shows you that this is spiritual Egypt, all right, and they have the Israelites in slavery, and just like Pharaoh and the Egyptian military was destroyed for coming after his people, the same thing is going to happen in America. All right, the king and his military are going to be destroyed, and not by man, but by Almighty Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai. Go ahead.
For thy violence against thy brother Jacob's shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever.
There will be no mercy for you. All right. Now go to Jeremiah 50. Oh no, Romans 9:13. Yeah. Let's go Romans 9:13.
Romans 9, verse 13. It reads, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
Right? So it's written. Where is it written? In the scriptures. That's why you have all these false religions. Because Esau changes the prophecies to say, oh, he loves Esau. Or anybody could be forgiven. That, oh, God so loved the world that he gave his only son for him. But it's really only for the Israelites, and it starts with the elect. 2/3 are not even given that mercy because they're going to be destroyed with Edom and his kingdom. Go ahead.
What shall we say then? Is their unrighteousness with power forbid?
Right. So our power said, is it unrighteous that he does this to Edom? What have they done to our people?
Mm-hmm.
Is this unrighteous that the Lord's going to destroy his kingdom with violence after he did this to us? Is God unjust? Right? Is America going to suffer violence because God's unjust? No, God is just, and there's a judgment. There's a debt that is owed, and you're going to pay it with your own life. The blood that is inside your body. It says blood has to be spilt by them that spilt blood. Go ahead.
And the Lord, if I can ask, he's going to double recompense Esau, you know? Right? For he said to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion.
But she's going to have compassion on 1/3 of the nation of Israel, all right, which is receiving the truth in America, and they're going to repent and be delivered. Yahushai's return, he's going to deliver us. But 2/3 are cursed. They're not going to receive this message. They're not going to want to hear it. Don't tell me, right? I just heard this lady talking about people that say, I don't watch the news. It's all bad news. It's terrible. It puts me in a negative attitude and this and that. And this lady was straight up saying, how great is your life so comfortable where you don't give a fuck about what's happening in the world? Like you're on your own island with your own food, your own water, your own house. No, you whatever happens in the world affects everybody. So you're an ignorant fool,
Right.
if you ignore this truth. And there's nothing that could be done for you. So you're going to be destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Any Israelite that is unfaithful. Go ahead.
So then, it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but a power that sheweth mercy.
Go ahead.
For the scripture said unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might shew my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth.
So that's what he's going to do. He made America a great country, but he's going to bring it down with great violence to show his power. See? And he's going to show the Israelites mercy. And he has by telling us the truth. And now we're just waiting for the Lord to send his son, Yahweh Shai, and fulfill all these prophecies. Go ahead.
Therefore hath he mercy on whom he will have mercy, and whom he will be hardeneth.
Will he
hardeneth.
Right. So, like these reprobates, their mind is sealed by the God of this world. All right. So who did that? The Lord did that, so he could destroy him and be glorified by destroying the reprobates. And then he also hardened these heathen, because he's going to go to war with these heathen. All right. Our God is a God of war. All right. Go ahead.
Thou wilt say then unto me, why doth he yet find fault?
Right. Go ahead.
For who hath resisted his will?
Because he wants to show off. He wants you to know that he could destroy you. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, and that's what this world lacks, is the fear of the Lord. So he wants to establish it in you by what? Destroying you. See? So he created Esau as a weapon, all right? And he's going to destroy his system, his own system. He's going to use Edom to destroy it. See? And he's going to establish us as the ruling class of this world, which we're being installed with righteousness, and the Lord's going to give us bodies that do not sin, so that we can establish righteousness just as we are right now in these corrupted bodies. Go ahead.
Nay, but, O man, who art thou that replies against power? Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus?
And that's Edom right there. Jake, I don't want to be an Israelite no more. Edom, they don't want the prophecies to come to pass. The Lord told Balaam, their forefather, bless Israel. See, Laban, all these heathen, they know on the high level. But see, that's why the Lord is going to destroy, because this world, they don't have no knowledge of the Lord because of the people that's ruling it. There's a lack of knowledge, a lack of reverence for the Lord and his people. Especially with his son, because they set up these false images, these false doctrines to deceive the world. So there's no reverence here for the Lord. Go ahead.
Hath not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor?
So that's what he did. He's going to dishonor one nation and honor his own people, the Israelite nation. All right? Now go to Jeremiah 50 and 1. And in the subtitle it says, Prophecy Against Babylon. Once again, Babylon is speaking of America. All right? Babylon means confusion, and America is a land of confusion. That's why you have all these different religions, because it's a land of confusion where you could become you're born a boy, but you become a girl. A land of confusion. Go ahead.
Jeremiah 50 verse 1, the word that the Lord Yahweh spake against Babylon and against the land of the Chaldeans by Jeremiah the prophet.
Which America was built on witchcraft, just like Egypt, just like Babylon. Go ahead.
Declare ye among the nation and publish and set up a standard, publish and conceal not, say Babylon is taken, Bel is confounded, Merodach is broken in pieces, her idols are confounded, her enemies are broken in pieces.
Right? So the Lord's going to bring great wrath upon this place, all right? And it's because of what they've done to his people. So if you come against us, we've been commanded to publish this. So you go against the Lord. He put it in our mouths to do this. Go to 2 Ezra, the Apocrypha, chapter 15. All right? Chapter 15.
Verse 1. 2 Ezra, chapter 15, verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord power.
So who's putting this word in our mouth? Who's commanding us to rise up and publish this in an upright spirit? It's the Lord. So if you were to come against us, you would literally be fighting against the Lord, which you're going to do. That's why you're a fool. Right? Woe unto you that war with his maker. All right? Esau is going to come like a flood with his military, and in a few situations, you're going to be able to overcome us and put us to death. But in the majority, dealing with the Israelites that believe, starting with the elect, we're going to be protected. There's a hedge that you really can't do nothing against us. You poison the food, we don't die. You poison the water, we don't die. We don't get sick. We're different than other men on earth because we have the protection as Israelites that have faith in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. That's why we survived many things that should have destroyed us before. All right, so that we could overcome and eventually come into this truth, because he's going to call us out of the darkness into the marvelous light, the truth of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, and that we are the Israelites who are going to receive these promises. Go ahead.
And cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true.
Right? So the Lord is fulfilling these words that are in these scriptures. Now, these other nations don't care because it's not for them. It's for us. All right? Now, they don't care, and that's what's going to lead them into their destruction. Because instead of blessing us, bowing, and submitting and worshiping us as the Israelites, the standard that is set up by Yahushua, they want to try to come up against us. They want to come up against us. See? And it's Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua that sets up kingdoms of men and brings them down. See? So who the hell are you? See? To try to come up against them. In fact, go to Romans 8 now. Yeah.
Romans 8,
You
verse
can
1.
just, start at 1.
Reads, there is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Hamashiach Yahushua.
Hey, there's no condemnation. There's no judgment for the elect. That's why when you touch some of his anointed, that's going to bring your destruction, because you don't have the right to touch us. We're repenting, and we're calling upon Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, and he's going to deliver us out of our trouble, as he promised us. Go ahead.
Who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. For the law of the Spirit of life in Hamashiach Yahushua have been made me free from the law of sin and death.
Right? Have made me free from the law of sin and death, which is what? Death. That if you sin, death. Right? So that's why you see these sodomites